As we all know, every heavyweight contender and heavyweight champion and their mother has expressed an interest in fighting Tony Bellew following Bellew's upset victory over David Haye the other weekend. And Tony Bellew has himself expressed an interest in fighting some of these guys like Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker. He has now expressed an interest in fighting Tyson Fury, who is going to attempt to come back to the ring in May. Now, a lot of people saw Tony Bellew versus David Haye as farcical, which I always felt was a bit harsh. I felt David Haye would win the fight, for the record. But I thought that acting as though the fight was farcical was a bit harsh because Tony Bellew is a current cruiserweight world champion. Excuse me. He's a current cruiserweight world champion. So David Haye himself is just a blown up cruiserweight and a former cruiserweight world champion who, as a heavyweight, was more of a pretender. Don't get it twisted. He did well. He did better than most boxers do by picking up a version of the heavyweight title, but he was never really the heavyweight champion. So he was most serious as a cruiserweight. So a former cruiserweight who moved up to heavyweight against a current cruiserweight world champion, I didn't see that as farcical the way other people did. I thought Haye would win, but I didn't see it as a circus show like some people seem to believe it was. However, and historically, you look through boxing, cruiserweights have many times moved up to heavyweight. Evander Holyfield did it. David Haye himself did it. So even light heavyweights, people like Michael Spinks moved up to heavyweight to take on Larry Holmes and later on Mike Tyson, Jerry Cooney, so on and so forth. So the idea of a cruiserweight moving up to heavyweight, particularly a champion to fight heavyweights, why is that so shocking? Why is that so terrible? Tony Bellew might not be on the same level as some of the other cruiserweights. He might not be an Evander Holyfield or whatever, but he is a world champion. He is a world-class fighter. So what's the problem of him stepping up and challenging heavyweights? Well, I can see both sides of the argument in this particular case because when Holyfield stepped up to fight heavyweights, when David Haye stepped up to fight heavyweights, when Michael Spinks stepped up to fight heavyweights, most of the heavyweights were of a certain size. Even when David Haye stepped up, Klitschko was pretty much the biggest guy in the division. He was like 6'6". These days, you've got Tony Bellew, who really is smaller than David Haye. I know he's a similar kind of height and maybe a similar kind of weight naturally, but David Haye's got a lot more muscle on him. So he's able to, in my view, throw his weight around with bigger guys than Tony Bellew will be able to. I just think David Haye's naturally, in terms of muscle mass, bigger than Bellew and stronger. And the heavyweights that we have around now, people like Tyson Fury, these guys are all 6'9", 6'8", 6'7". I mean, they're ridiculously big. So the size difference between a Tony Bellew and a Tyson Fury is ridiculous. And this is why I can understand people saying that Tyson Fury versus Bellew is a farce. Because the size difference is just too vast. If Bellew was an exceptional talent at cruiserweight, going up to face a Tyson Fury, it might not be so farcical. It might not be so, you might not be so quick to dismiss it. But going out to fight a guy that's 6'9", no. I don't like Bellew's chances at all. I don't like Bellew's chances against Wilder or Parker either. Once again, excuse me. And I know I picked David Haye to beat Bellew, but I always said that an upset wouldn't shock me given David Haye's injuries and lack of ring activity and lack of quality opposition. So it is a bit different in my view. Again, and David Haye is only a pumped up cruiserweight himself. Whereas these guys are legit heavyweights, the likes of a Tyson Fury. So you can't blame Bellew at the end of the day for talking about fighting Fury, because he's looking to go out with a bang and a massive payday, regardless of if he wins or loses. And he's done very, very well, Tony Bellew. He's an overachiever. So you can't blame him. You would have to blame Tyson Fury if you want to blame anyone. If you think it's a farce, blame Fury. Don't blame Bellew. Sorry. So, yeah. Will this fight happen? I seriously doubt it, because Tyson Fury's got far too many problems to deal with. But a similar fight may occur. We may see Deontay Wilder versus Bellew. We may see Parker versus Bellew, so on and so forth. And if we do, again, you can't blame Bellew. And, you know, on paper, those champions who take on Bellew might be able to get away with it, because it's a champion from a lower division taking on a champion from a higher division. Ordinarily, very few would complain about that. But because the heavyweight division has no weight limit, and the difference in size between the cruiserweight champion and the heavyweight champion is absolutely ridiculous, that's why it's not quite the same as a junior welterweight stepping up to fight a welterweight, a junior welterweight champion challenging a welterweight champion. It's not quite the same because the size difference is not as big. So anyway, let me stop rambling here. Let me know how you feel about everything I talked about in this video and this potential fight between Bellew and Tyson Fury. Do you think Bellew's actually serious? Do you think Fury is actually serious? Because he's called out Bellew. Drop it all in the comment section. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.